Hello and welcome back to our continued adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are, because of the fact that I have knocked out both in IR and SOC all the available cases, we are taking a look to see as to available challenges. And as you can obviously see, I've knocked out just about everything except for phishing email, which I don't know how long this has been there. I really probably should pay more attention. So that's what we're going to hit. Okay, your email address has been leaked and you receive an email from PayPal in German. Try to analyze the suspicious email. Oh no, whatever will we do? Okay. One moment. I need to change this over and make it so we can actually see this sucker. Okay, so let's get quickly a portion for questions. What is the return path of the email? What is the domain name of the URL in this email? And is the domain mentioned in the previous question suspicious? What is the SHA body? SHA-256 of the domain. Is this a phishing email? All right, so return path of the email. Let me go ahead and perform the transition. And here is the email in question that they give us. I mean, obviously, the first thing would be, okay, as a U.S. citizen, my German is extremely rusty from middle and high school. I do not speak a Deutsch. But immediately, yes, it's phishing, or at least labeled as sus. Massive sus. All the sus. Mostly just because of the fact of I don't do anything with German PayPal. I only do US PayPal. I do not know the person in question. I do not know the amount. And obviously the 2 aspect is not to me. Although I'm wondering as to whether or not if we have to suspend disbelief for this particular challenge. Because I don't know that I'm an N18 at itlego.uk. I'm fairly certain that's not me. Okay, so I need to remember how to do things in Thunderbird. Ah, yes, message source. Now the question is, that's not going to translate over, is it? Not that it apparently matters because I'm not getting anything. Oh. Interesting. It does not generate anything when I do message help. Because my whole thing is, yeah, so trying to view source doesn't give me jack. Jack and crap. Well, that's a pain. But let's just go ahead and turn on all the headers. And so our very first question was, what now? What is the return path to the email? Okay, well, let's go and take a look. Oh, okay, delivered to Krista Allah at Gmail. So we are looking for the return to, or, okay, return path. Return path is bounce at rjttzny blah 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 .designclub.uk.com. And this would technically count as header analysis. Oh, okay, we're doing it again with the curly brackets. Of course. Okay, what is the domain name of the URL in said email? So the typical thing is just to sit there and hold the mouse over the button. So it looks like it's going to be down at the bottom, storage.googleapis.com. Now, obviously, I'm going to put the whole thing in there just because of the fact that I can't really easily copy and paste. And they want the domain, so I'm assuming it's going to be just that without the HTTPS. Okay, yes, it was. Mind you, this is an easy portion, and, well, I do way too much of this on a day-to-day basis. So if I'm making this look extremely easy, that would be why. But it's always a worthwhile endeavor too, especially if you're interested in becoming, I mean, even to an aspect of incident responder, or just plain old SOC analyst. Plain old. But, take a look and see what the stuff that's inside your junk. I mean, if you've got a Gmail account, go ahead and just pilfer around in there. Obviously, don't click on anything. Try to do everything in a sandbox, which, just to make sure that everyone's aware, I am running the Firefox window that's in the Let's Defend site and the Thunderbird that is displaying the phishing message inside of a low overhead sandbox. Is the domain mentioned in the previous question suspicious? Well, technically yes, because this should be PayPal, not. Oh, good Lord. Apologies, I left that up there. Okay, so just to basically show off that, okay, yes, indeed, the answer to question 1 was correct. The bounce at blah.designclub.uk.co or com was the valid answer, along with the storage.googleapis.com for question 2. Then I'm assuming it's just a simple yes. What is the body SHA-256 of the domain? Okay. So I want the hint just because of the fact of, are they expecting the entirety of the URL to be run through? Or are they specifically just centered around storage.googleapis.com? And according to this, they are just interested in the storage. Let it do its thing. It will go through and generate. Interesting. CMC Threat Intelligence 8 days ago marks it as, yes, this looks funky. Funky chunky monkey. And then we should be able to go detail, go down, and there's the body SHA-256. So now the question is the body going to be different? Because when we put the domain in, it immediately sat there and took us to the HTTP version of the domain. So is the SHA-256 going to be different there as opposed to HTTPS? I guess we'll find out. Okay, apparently not, or they expected us to go through. Why don't we do that? So instead of wondering, let's just look. Let us do. Okay, so starts in 1394. 1394 ends in 56-7 F5. 56-7 F5. So it does not make a difference. Is this email a phishing email? Well, it certainly looks like it, does it not? So ultimately, it's not from PayPal. We know that much. But the question, how do we really know? Yes, and if you've been paying attention for the last video that was released regarding Quiet Forest, apparently the YouTube channel's still up, the video's there, but the web host got engaged to take down the page itself. So at least the host was responsive. Discord, complete radio silence in regards to doing anything. Very disappointed with YouTube's response. Not that that's really a big shock. Of course, it does kind of make me wonder as to whether or not if they've changed the URL in the video aspect. Okay, so this is scanned numerous times. Giant shock. It's Google or storage for Google APIs. Oh, let's see. I really wasn't overly interested to sit there and see about screwing around with that, but I was more interested in, does Talos have any intel, not so much on storage and Google APIs, but to the rest of the aspect. Okay, I went too far over. Oh, and there's a space in the front. Just to see if there was anything there. Really? Vehicles? Really? Okay. Give me your damn vehicles. Oh, look at that. They brought it back up. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to make a determination as to how much of a pain in the posterior I want to make these guys' lives. Nope, URL host doesn't have anything. They don't have anything. Oh, well, made it into a pulse. Oh, just for new domains. That's not quite what I was looking for. Does anybody have this thing to actually give a full-blown, Yes, this is bad. Outside of, well, I guess we can just take a look what they labeled it. Webroot says malicious. Netcraft says malicious. ESET suspicious. I'm not even going to try. Fortinet both mark it as phishing. 9 hours ago, obviously enough of the particular. Nice. Received this link in a super dodgy email, so definitely phishing. Well, okay then. I mean, I think we've got more than enough evidence to sit there and back the claim, even though it looks like it's effectively dead right now. But okay, there we go. Phishing analyzer. Let's see my badges. Oh, yeah, I did get added. Nice. Okay, so something reasonably quick and dirty in regards to the available challenges, which singular available challenge to me for Let's Defend. I mean, as you go through, well, okay, you go through and do this yourself. You take a look at your junk mail, or you've got a message that showed up in your inbox and you just want to analyze. Effectively, you just have to go until you're satisfied personally. I mean, obviously, if it's in an organization, most orgs want you to sit there, and they've either supplied you with a button to click to send the stuff to, some security team to go through and have analyzed, or maybe a service, something that's, provided by like maybe Proofpoint. Although realistically, if they have that, you would think that the Proofpoint would be in front doing the analysis as the emails come in, but neither here nor there. But effectively to have stuff analyzed if you don't recognize it. Obviously, you want to check with your IT people, your security people, find out, what's the plan. I mean, they may not have anything, depending as to, if it's a small, medium business. I mean, if it's a bigger org, technically they should have all that stuff in place, but we'll go from the personal aspect. I mean, it's the way that it's always effectively been. Are you expecting it? You may not be using Thunderbird. It may be Gmail or Yahoo, heaven forbid. But effectively, okay, you should be able to sit there and take a look at the header information for just about any of the various platforms. You can do it in Outlook. You can do it in Thunderbird. Not entirely sure if you could do it inside of like the mobile apps for Gmail and the like. It wouldn't surprise me if you could. But effectively, you're taking a look. So obviously the two doesn't match. We're taking a look at the from field, and sure it says PayPal, but it's not all together. It's spaced out with periods. And the sending email address, which may or may not actually show up for you depending as to which client you're using. Obviously, okay, gibberish at kodehexa.net is not paypal.com, not paypal.de. DE, I think, is the German domain. But it's not PayPal anything. The subject line is, well, okay, again, it's in German. You shouldn't be getting anything in German. Outside of that aspect, if you were to take it, do like Google Translate, everything else like that, does it look like anything you've ever seen from PayPal before? And this effectively applies towards any email you're analyzing. Not necessarily that lines up to PayPal, but okay, does the sender match who you're expecting? So say you're getting something from your bank. Does it look like the bank's email address or their domain? Are they asking you to go and click this link to sign in, which most banks tell you not to? You should go straight to, the actual site itself, which hopefully you've bookmarked or off the top of your head. If not, okay, going and finding a local branch and actually talking to somebody to get some sort of piece of legit documentation that says, yes, for all manner of any sort of inquiries, our domain is xyz.com or whatever the case is. Yeah, okay, the other links too, you basically hold over. And does it go to where you would kind of expect if you were to hold over? Now, obviously, you go and you've got, you're looking at a mobile email. It's kind of difficult to go through and do that because of the fact that, okay, you can't move a mouse, which would be your finger in this particular case, or I guess a stylus, over it to actually have it generate down at the bottom or pop up. So effectively, maybe you want to sit there and take that email and look at it inside of a actual full-blown web browser with a mouse that you can hover over the link and take a look at everything. But does it go where you would expect? So if it's, say, your xyz.com bank, is it actually going full-blown to xyz.com? And even then there's the whole aspect for the puny characters. So instead of doing, what is it, ASCII, you're doing ANSI or UTF-8 or whatever the case is, basically just a larger character set to have everything represented. I think most of the web browsers have caught on to that particular aspect now. So instead of like, say, apple.com, it would be like --nx blah 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 blah.com. Which, okay, no way, shape, or form when you look at that actual domain is that actually Apple. But it's the way that the encoding is done that, okay, you sit there and if the web browsers weren't doing their job for this particular aspect, it would generally show up as Apple. So more things to sit there and be considered, or be considering while going through and investigating email. And of course, the whole aspect of if you're not expecting it, don't sit there and screw with it. If you don't feel comfortable going through and doing this stuff, then just leave it. I mean, if you're expecting, something to show up, okay, that would be something. But, I mean, these type of aspects come more even into play as we hit, major shopping holidays. So you can expect that there will be a large run for PayPal, Amazon, probably eBay, fake bank, phishing emails, and the like that are just going to just be propagated because this is generally the time, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, that you've got everybody out there whipping out the credit cards to go buy stuff. Everybody knows this is typically the time that spending gets done, so at least for the home users. I mean, technically, what businesses would have actually sat there and shot their wad a couple months back in preparation for Q4? But so there we go. I guess technically you have any other phishing aspects, hints, and the like that I haven't covered, even though this really is an in-depth deep dive. Put them in the comments, and I guess hopefully it gets to who it needs to get to. Somebody who may not know anything or be an uneducated in the subject matter. I'm sure they know things. I'm sure they know a lot of things. It's just the aspect of they don't know much about this. Which, okay, everybody's got their strengths, everybody's got their weaknesses. I mean, cripe, I'm relearning Mac after 15, 20 years. Oh, for work-related functions, I swear. But, so there we go. That has been the phishing email challenge with a bit of waffle at the end. But kind of sort of on topic. But with all that being said, I will see everyone in the next video. No idea about the subject matter, but hey, we'll find out together, right?